let's come to order with the Little Rock Planning Commission. We're glad you're here. And we'll start with a call of the roll, please.
Chairman Latour.
Here.
Vice Chair Stebbins.
Here.
Commissioner Berry.
Here.
Commissioner Brock.
Here.
Commissioner Bynum.
Here.
Commissioner Hamilton.
Here.
Commissioner Haynes.
Here.
Commissioner May.
Here.
Commissioner Ramon.
Here.
Commissioner Thomas.
Here.
And Commissioner Vogel.
Here.
Do have a quorum.
Thank you. You've been supplied with a copy of the minutes. A motion would be in order.
Mr. Chairman, I move for approval of the minutes of the March 28, 2019 Planning Commission meeting with all staff comments and conditions.
Is there a second? Moved and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor, hold up your hand. Those opposed? Thank you. Mr. Carney, if you take us through the consent agenda, please.
Consent agenda for the May 9th, 2019 meeting of the Little Rock Planning Commission consists of the following items. On consent approval, item 1, file Z 5668-I, Home Depot revised conditional use permit located at 12610 Chenal Parkway. Staff recommends approval of the requested revised CUP subject to compliance with the following conditions. First, being compliance with comments and conditions outlined in sections 4 and 6 of the agenda staff report. A maximum of 15 parking spaces may be utilized for rental truck display, and a maximum of 12 parking spaces may be utilized for storage building display. Also on consent approval, item 2, file Z8898-A, Phillips Duplexes Storage Building, revised conditional use permit located at 3308 Longoy Street. Staff recommends approval of the requested revised CUP subject to compliance with the following conditions. First, being compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in sections 5 and 6 of the agenda staff report. The storage building is to be used only by tenants of the 2 duplexes at 3318 and 3320 Longoy Street. And there's to be no storage outside of the building at 3308 Longoy Street. Also on consent approval, item 3, file Z9388-A, Egbo Simba Retail Grocery with no alcohol sales, conditional use permit, located at 5223 Asher Avenue. Staff recommends approval of the requested CUP, subject to compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in sections 4, 5, and 6 of the agenda staff report. Also on consent approval, item 4, file Z9413, Jackson Multi-Sectional Manufactured Home Conditional Use Permit located at 3615 3M Road. Staff recommends approval of the requested CUP and side yard setback variance, subject to compliance with the following conditions. Compliance with the comments and conditions outlined in sections 5, 6, and 7 of the agenda staff report. Compliance with the siting criteria as found in section 36-255D5 of the code. The porch and steps on the east side of the residence must remain uncovered and unenclosed. A concrete apron is required for the proposed driveway with a maximum width of 20 feet, running from the edge of pavement of 3M Road to the front property line. And the gravel driveway and parking pad must be bordered with permanent materials such as landscape timbers or metal edging. And the final item on the consent agenda recommended for approval is item 5, and Planning Manager Walter Malone is going to introduce that item.
Mr. Chairman and Commission, this is a package of 7 areas of cleanup, basically in the north central part of Little Rock. I'm going to go over these changes quickly, I hope, and there's only one issue which I'll tell you when I get to it. Area 1A is there in Hillcrest. It's north of, it's on Beechwood, north of Kavanaugh. It's an area which is zoned for R5 and R4. It's more than single-family homes, and that's what it's shown on the land use plan, RL. So the proposal is to show it as RM since it's more density than that. 1B, which is also RL, which is residential, is a church, has been a church for many years, and related uses on Woodlawn, so recognize that as PI. 1C on Kavanaugh is a building which is a mixed-use building. It has commercial businesses in it, some offices, and the parking lot for that building. It's shown as office on the plan. All the rest of Hillcrest Commercial District is shown as commercial, and it's primarily commercial, so we'll show that as commercial also. 1D is at H in Kavanaugh, between H and I on Kavanaugh. This is the one that would be the one change where we're recommending an amendment to the changes. Instead of RH to RL, we're proposing it from RH to RM. One of the structures is not a single-family house. It was built as a single-family house when it was originally built, but it's been cut up, and it has 4 units within it. So we feel like because of that, RM would be a better designation, and that's what's on the plan immediately to the north of this side. So the other lots are all single-family houses. So we're recommending that change when you approve this with that amendment from RH to RM. The next one. This is on Markham at Van Buren. This is the Markham Inn. Some of it's shown as commercial, some of it's shown as office. Basically, it show all the Markham Inn as commercial, and it's zone a planned commercial development in C3. And then the next one. This is also on Hillcrest. Change A is all land that the city of Little Rock owns. It's passive open space. That's what it's going to be used as in the future. Some of it's owned residential, some of it's owned commercial, but it's all owned by the city of Little Rock, and it's all passive open space in that part of Little Rock. 3B is property that the adjacent church bought many years ago. They've removed the house that used to be there at one time. It is zoned R5, which is multifamily, which is why it's RH on the plan, but the church bought it for alternate uses for the church, so change it to PI. And then across the street, change that area from commercial to residential mid-density. That is an apartment complex. It's zone C3, but it is an apartment complex. So we feel like all those would be more appropriate land uses. Change area 4 is on 7th Street. The structure that's across there on the other side is Lamar Porter Field. This is the parking lot for Lamar Porter Field, and when that was Woodruff Elementary School, it was also used for parking for Woodruff Elementary School. It is owned by the Boys Club, and so we feel like it will continue to be used as parking for Lamar Porter Field. So PI we felt like would be a better designation. And next one. This is on Reservoir Road. The area A on the east side is an area that at one time had been a single-family house if you've lived in Little Rock a long, long time, but it's been a church for more than a decade. And so we want to recognize the church that's there. So show that as PI. And then across on the other side, change B is the floodway of Grassy Flat Creek and the POA Park for the neighborhood there. So recognize those as both park open space on the land use plan. The next change is just north of Interstate 630 near Rodney Parham. Change A is owned by the city of Little Rock again. It's part of the floodplain of Rock Creek, which is that blue line to the south there, and that's why the city has it, because it's the part of the floodway of Rock Creek. The other area, 6B, is actually owned by the PI to the north there, which is a synagogue, and this is part of their ownership. So we wanted to recognize that it be PI since it's part of the synagogue's ownership. The final change is in the Heights, Kavanaugh and Tyler. These are 3 houses that are on Tyler. They're zoned single family, and they are being used as single family homes. So recognize that as RL or single family rather than commercial. So that's all the changes in this package. So we would recommend that you approve the package as amended today.
Okay.
That concludes the consent agenda.
All right, a motion would be in order before we discuss it.
Mr. Chairman, I move for approval of all of the items on the consent agenda, including item 5 as amended, with all staff comments and conditions.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments, commissioners? Hearing none, if those in favor of the consent agenda, please raise your right hand. Those opposed, same sign. Consent agenda passes. The only other announcement that I would make is for those of you that might have missed it, there's not going to be an informal planning commission meeting in a couple of weeks. With that, if there's nothing else, we are adjourned.